Hello there guys, and welcome to this X-Plane 11 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at xEnviro version 1.09, which was released recently. xEnviro is a brilliant environment engine for X-Plane 11. It replaces just about everything from the sky color to the cloud textures. It has its own built-in weather generation engine. It reads real-world meteor data and injects the weather into the sim. What I'd like to essentially do in this video is showcase this version of xEnviro, show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly, and provide you with my thoughts. One of the things that xEnviro does extremely well is the representation of haze. As you can see, haze is well depicted across this mountainous terrain here. It provides for a very dramatic visual experience in X-Plane 11. The cloud textures look pretty good from a distance in xEnviro, but they don't look as good as you come closer to the cloud. Another thing I appreciate in xEnviro is the variety of cloud textures and the proper representation of an overcast condition. xEnviro also provides for realistic sky color replacement for X-Plane, something I have a lot of appreciation for, and in this version there is something called volumetric lighting, and as you can see here, the illumination, the glow of the sun looks extremely realistic. But notice what happens to the color of the clouds. They look absolutely dreadful at this time of day. This is, in my opinion, a just complete put-off for me. If you look at how the clouds are, this doesn't look anything like clouds, in my opinion. But the colors, the sky colors, the representation of the horizon here, all those effects, along with the sun, I think provides for a very convincing visual experience. This is what things look like from the ground, and as you can see, in some areas it looks good, in some areas it doesn't look that great. So if we look at this part of the screen here, I think this looks really good. The clouds in the distance over here look very realistic indeed. The formation of the clouds, the textures, the variety looks pretty good. But if we look, for example, at this area here, I'm not really sure that it looks very realistic. It looks very defined. Maybe it has to do with the resolution, but if we change the time a bit here, as you can see now, this is looking pretty good. So xEnviro has always been, an application that looks great at times and not so great at times. But this one here, again, during this time of day, I think it provides for a very compelling visual experience, very dramatic and realistic. As here we change the time back to nighttime, again, you get those funny looking clouds. The way, I'm not sure how to describe this, but it looks, on my screen, it looks so defined, it doesn't look anything like a cloud. The same thing probably over here, just a little bit. But the clouds in the distance look pretty good, very realistic indeed. Here is another look at xEnviro from a different altitude. As you can see, again, some clouds look good. The sky color definitely looks pretty good, but look at how those clouds are looking here. That does not look very realistic. Now, I have the resolution set at maximum, and I noticed that this effect goes away slightly when I change the resolution to medium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this exact scene again with the resolution adjusted to medium. This is exactly the same scene with the resolution adjusted to medium, and as you can see, the definition of the clouds is much less pronounced now. It actually looks better, but in my opinion, still not very realistic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the time of day here. As you can see, it looks pretty good actually, and this is probably the daytime. And I like also the bluish color. I think it adds a little bit to the realism. If you notice the reflection of the clouds on the ground, it looks pretty good. Again, it provides for a very convincing visual experience. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the xEnviro settings, and we're going to take a look at performance as well, and then we're going to do a short flight around the area just to test things out and see how things actually look while in flight. The xEnviro settings menu hasn't really changed that much since release. I do like the fact that they've reskinned the window to match the look and feel of X-Plane 11. I brought up the performance counter here so that we can take a look at our frames, and we currently stand at 40 frames per second. And these are the settings. These are, by the way, all the settings that you see here are from the presets. So I haven't really changed anything with very few exceptions, and I'll point those out in a minute. But when you come to the weather settings, this particular section here does not really have any effect on performance. But I do leave it on real mode all the time. I don't really change anything here. The cloud settings is where performance starts suffering as you move the sliders to the right. So the first slider here, resolution, as you saw earlier in the video, the medium setting actually provides for the best visual experience. So I don't really see a point in going to maximum resolution because it's going to consume more VRAM, and as we saw in the video, it doesn't look very good. Complexity is where you start seeing performance suffering as you move the slider to the right. So we have now 40 frames. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch between the three presets, and we're going to see the effect on performance. So if we go to light, now, as you can see, we have about, 48 frames, 50 frames per second. It still looks good. The visual experience is still pretty dramatic. I don't really see that this is a bad scene, for example. But if I go to optimum, now, as you can see, we have serious degradation, about 10 frames or so, 8 frames or so. So again, playing with these sliders to get the best performance will really pay off. What I normally do is I keep it on the optimum. On maximum, as you can see, now the frames have really suffered. So on the maximum preset, we went to 22 frames. That's about 20 FPS loss. So definitely, I do not recommend the maximum setting. The optimum setting is quite good. We're still getting 40 frames, which is more than enough to ensure a smooth visual experience. Now, the effect settings, I have everything checked except for the post-processing. I just don't like it. It just adds a layer that, to me, doesn't look very good. It changes the colors. Things look a bit washed out. So I just leave everything ticked with the exception of post-processing. And again, the volumetric lights will actually affect performance. The rays will also affect performance, but I think they look really good, so I keep it. And of course, we have the sound settings. I have everything set to the maximum so that I can hear some of the environment sounds, such as the birds and nice weather, or the rain and wind while in flight, or just really wandering around the airport area. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take an aircraft on a short flight here around the region to assess the overall experience in xEnviro while in flight. Okay, so we are in the Zibo 737, and we're just going to depart, and we're going to climb to about 10,000 feet, and respectively to 15, 20, and 30,000 feet to take a look at the clouds and see how xEnviro behaves while in flight at those altitudes. Taking a look at our frames, it is actually fluctuating, but still pretty smooth. As you can see, things are looking pretty good. About 37 frames, 38 frames. We're going to start. Look at the haze. I really like how the haze is represented in xEnviro. I think they do a pretty good job, whether it's over the terrain or just in open land like that. I think it looks pretty good. And we're going to begin retracting our flaps. Some turbulence here, and turbulence is simulated. And by the way, the weather upper wind data is done quite well in this version of xEnviro. Again, I don't particularly like how this particular cloud looks defined here. In the distance it looks fine, but as you get closer it looks a bit strange. Nice windshield effect here as we go through the clouds. I really like that. Again, it looks really strange. Okay, so we are going through the clouds. I like the cloud motion effect here, and we have some turbulence here as we go through those clouds. I think this looks very good. Indeed, we are at about 6,500 feet now, and things are looking pretty good. We're pretty fast here. I'm going to just ease off on the throttle a bit. Yep. Again, as you can see, it looks pretty good. Let me change the time of day here so we can take a look at the clouds. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Yep, again, a very convincing visual experience. I like the reflection and the reflection, or the lighting, beg your pardon, on the clouds during this time of day. I think it looks pretty good. Not as bad as when we first looked at the video in the beginning. So it looks slightly better here. Not extremely convincing, but acceptable. There we go. I do like the fact that the transition, the sky color transition is done very, very smooth in this version of xEnviro. Again, as you can see, provides very compelling visual experience. Here, let's switch to external view. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up the map, and we're going to take the aircraft to, let's see here, 15,000 feet. Alright, and as you can see, we can still see the clouds to the end of the horizon. Very dramatic visual experience. Looks pretty good. And now we're going to take the aircraft to 25,000 feet. Or 26,000 feet. And as you can see, still looks pretty good. You can see the clouds all the way to the end of the horizon. Very, very nice indeed. Now again, I think the cloud textures themselves could use some work. But I'm sure somebody will probably come up with replacement textures very soon. The ones that are already available are not compatible with this version of xEnviro. And this is an external view. I'm not sure about the color here. I don't think it looks very realistic. But nonetheless, we can see the clouds all the way to the end right there. Alright. And now we're going to take the aircraft to about 35,000 feet. Right, we're getting the cabin altitude warning because I didn't set the pressure. So just bear with me very quickly here. As you can see, we are at about 32,000 feet, and we can still see the clouds all the way to the end of the horizon, something I really appreciate in xEnviro. We are at about 30,000 feet now, and as you can see, the cloud reflection on the ground looks pretty good. We're getting about 50 frames, so that's pretty good. As you can see here, things are looking pretty good from this altitude. xEnviro now also provides weather briefings for nearby weather stations. As you can see, this is where we are currently situated, Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. and you have the weather information for nearby weather stations as well. My final remarks on xEnviro is that it is the best complete weather environment engine for X-Plane 11 today. It does have a lot of shortcomings in terms of the cloud textures, some performance considerations that I hope that the xEnviro team would take a look at. But overall, I think the program delivers on its promise. I think it is well worth the price, and it does provide for a very dramatic visual experience in X-Plane 11. Well, guys, this brings us pretty much to the conclusion of our video today. I hope that this was an insightful and useful look at xEnviro. If you have any questions, please do post them in the comments section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye for now.